Hello friends, it's Alina, and in this video we'll be doing a pick a card reading for the month of August 2021. So if that's interesting you, then let's get started. All right, y'all, welcome. I cannot believe that it's already been a month, but here we are. Comment down below if you did my last July pick a card reading. I'm really loving the sessions that we have in between my full and new moon, astrology readings, meditations, all of that stuff. This will be group number 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. Now, if you have a hard time choosing, I'll go ahead and add some crystals and flowers to help you decide. So let's do it. All right, group number 1 has clear quartz. Group number 2 has a small yellow rose. Group number 3 has the beautiful rose quartz. And group number 4 has a blue lotus flower. Let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths together. Let's take an inhale through the nose and release. You're welcome to close your eyes, allow your shoulders to roll back. Another deep inhale through the nose and release. When you're ready, I invite you to choose between group 1, 2, 3, and 4. There will be timestamps in the video description. And with that said, let's get started. Hello, group number 1. Now, if you chose this group based off of clear quartz crystal, this crystal is actually very great for amplifying your energy, getting your voice, your vibration, your intentions amplified and distributed throughout the world and just our existence. This is a great crystal to have if you are working on divination, if you are working on just attracting the right people into your life. I absolutely love clear quartz for that, and I find it very interesting that you felt called to it for the month of August. So let's go ahead and see what other context there is. What other context there is relative to that crystal. Let's go ahead and start with some tarot. Actually, no, I'm going to start with our Moonology deck. Interesting. We have Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back, South Node. So the Moonology deck shows different astrological events and moon phases and what they represent relative to you. So what's interesting about this one being South Node is that while North Node is showing you your destiny, the path that you need to take moving forward, your South Node represents things around your past life. Your gifts that are innately yours, regardless of what lifetime you're in, that are just attached to your soul, what things that you can bring forward. And on the flip side to that, there can be past habits, past patterns specifically that you might need to be leaving behind. So I find that to be interesting. Don't let your past hold you back. Even if you are not interested in the idea of reincarnation and about, what might be brought forward from your past life, this is really about habits. This is really about limiting beliefs. This is really about, specifically with this card, this mantra being, don't let your past hold you back. This idea that it's time in the month of August. What I'm really getting is that in the month of August, you will flourish when you step outside of that comfort zone where those limiting beliefs lie, okay? It's time to focus on the North Node, focus on the destiny, focus on your gifts and what you know deep down is the direction you need to be on. It's time to stop wasting time. That's what I'm getting for you, group number 1 so far. That way you can amplify your energy, right? But let's go ahead and get a little bit more context here. So let's start with these tarot cards. Interesting. The first card we have is Two of Swords reversed. So this card can represent indecision, maybe even like a stalemate, or maybe feeling like you're having an overload of information, confusion, just a lot of stimuli, and you're in a place where you can't really decide things. And yeah, that's really interesting. So let me get this out of the way. So it's really, yeah, I just find that interesting. So just as you see, in this photo where there's a woman who is blindfolded, this can also represent that you might be closed off to new ideas. You might be closed off to the world potentially. And by opening up to that, that could be what could resolve your dilemma. It just seems like, you see how her arms are crossed as well. She's like, nope, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to deal with it. And kind of stuck in her ways a little bit. And what I'm getting for you in the month of August, what will be very fruitful for you, which is interesting, going back to leaving behind the South Node themes, is if you are open to alternative solutions, alternative perspectives, and opening yourself up to that, in the month of August, you will receive the important information that you need to have to start changing the patterns in your life that you want to. That's what I'm getting for you so far, group number 1. Let's see, what else? The other aspect of this card that I'm getting is that you might be experiencing information overload, being on social media too much, streaming too many shows, just having your leisure time be equivalent to the intaking of passive information rather than having your leisure time being sometimes just boredom, sometimes just existing and allowing ideas to flow through, looking into mindfulness practices. That's what I'm getting for you, group number 1 so far, is that because you're a lot of information overload, what can happen is it's harder to process information. Now, that can be beneficial if you don't want to process certain things that might not feel good to you to have to think about. That's where we get distractions, right, with social media and all these other things. But what I'm getting for you, group number 1, is that in the month of August, you will have the opportunity to step outside of that. And if you choose to step outside of that sort of bubble of distraction, you are going to experience some incredibly fruitful interactions, insights, and most of them are not going to be coming from yourself. You've been looking and looking and looking for these ideas, and what I'm getting is that you will find them by being open-minded to the world. That's what I'm getting so far. You're also being invited, I think, to listen to your intuition. Is it the antithesis? I might be looking for the wrong word. Comment if I'm saying the wrong word, but the opposite of being closed off at a time like this in August is really tapping into mindfulness practices, tapping into your intuition, taking that blindfold off as well from the distraction. What I'm feeling is that the distractions were the blindfold. Does that make sense, group number 1? But, let's keep going. Let's get more context here, okay? Oh, okay. We have Queen of Wands, group number 1. Okay. So the Queen of Wands can often represent courage, confidence, being a social butterfly, being determined, and also independence. A lot of Aries energy in the Queen of Wands. You can see she's sitting on her throne. She's got her black cat right in front of her. She has a flower right here representing the earth, divination, okay? And this card, what I'm getting for you, group number 1, is really just a reminder for you. I feel like you're going to need to remember this in the month of August, and that is you are that bitch, okay? I know I shouldn't be cursing. I apologize, but I just want to be transparent. What I'm really getting is you are that MF, okay? Look up what that means if you don't know. It's just a reminder for you to be self-aware and to know how to best channel the strengths. Like, how to best channel your strengths. How to, really utilize and transmute your weaknesses. But sometimes, group number 1, it seems like you might not necessarily be confident to that. You might be kind of closed off to that. And what I'm getting is that a lot of societal norms, a lot of things that might have been told to you growing up, maybe in the previous month, made you feel like you had to ignore those things, or that they weren't really as fruitful or powerful as you thought. And I'm just getting through group number 1. August is going to be a time for you to really utilize these things. You have the ability to actualize these things, to actualize the goals that you want. And what I'm getting is that you might be closed off and you're constantly looking for advice. That actually might be why you're here. And I might be one of the first, tarot readers up online that you might have heard say this, but you don't need constant validation. You don't need constant guidance. What I'm getting is that you actually have the power to tap in to what you need to know. That inner wisdom You have that already. It's a matter of honing that skill. It's a matter of actually acknowledging with yourself, like, dang, I am that bitch. Like, I am that guy. I am that girl, you know, like stepping away from idolizing people as other, idolizing even YouTubers, you know, people that are celebrities, actors, you know, any of them as other, like, wow, you're not separate. That's what I'm getting through for you, group number 1. You are not separate. You have the power in you to legitimately like materialize and actualize the things that you want. It's a matter of if you believe you can do it. And it's a matter of separating what are genuine intuitive messages and societal messages that told you that you were in a box when you aren't really. That's what I'm getting. By the way, we have a pool right outside where I live, and you might hear some splashing and laughing and joy. So I apologize if that's distracting, but that's what you might hear in the background. All right, next, group number 1. I'm just excited for y'all, group number 1. I feel like August really is going to be a time of a lot of growth for you, of you stepping away from limiting beliefs, a lot of patterns that made you comfortable. But in August, you are going to have some experiences that are going to poof, wake you up, pull that blindfold off, like pull that sleeping mask off for the sunlight to come in. And I just feel like you're going to really have an opportunity to step into your power. But it's a matter of if you choose to go there, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. Ooh, yo, group number 1, stop playing with yourself. Look at this, Queen of Swords. Okay, so this card can represent independence, being unbiased, you know, having unbiased judgment, you know, having direct communication, not beating around the bush, spearing through that ish, okay? Group number 1. And if you are a boy, if you are male identifying, anything like that, and you're listening to this and you're like, okay, she keeps on saying you're that B, you're that. I'm talking about the feminine energy within you that has these powers. You need to look into, if you feel kind of like repelled by the idea of, you know, this notion of femininity, all these things, it's very important to understand the duality and the nature of existence. It's like yin and yang. There's a little bit of yang within yin. There's a little bit of yin within yang. There's a little bit of good within the bad, a little bit of bad within the good. Same with the duality of feminine, masculine energy. Okay? There's no, like, we need to stop with these dichotomies and recognize the interconnectedness, the duality of it all. That's what I'm just saying. So, Queen of Swords. So this card really getting that you are the type of person that if you choose to lead from your head and not your heart, you will be way better off being able to discern some situations where you might feel frustrated. What I'm really getting here, group number 1, is that August, you're gonna have to choose between some things. And what I'm getting is that it might be you having to choose between your comfort zone and actually actualizing what you keep saying you want to actualize. Like, what I'm getting is that in August, a lot of things are going to be materializing for you, and you're going to be faced with the reality check of, okay, if I, like, in order for me to step into this next phase, I need to be like a next phase of myself, ultimately. You know what I mean? And what I'm getting for you is that clear communication is going to be very important, okay? You see the Queen of Swords, she's preaching to the people. She has her hand up. She's telling people how it is, okay? And I find that to be really interesting. This card is another reminder of your power, okay? And how highly perceptive you are. You're very perceptive. This is just a reminder in general to stand in your power and to not deny your intuitive observations, group number 1. You are noticing a lot of things. You're making a lot of connections in the world in the month of August. And what I'm getting is that if you decide to actually act on those things, if you decide to actually speak those out, if you decide to actually, you know, give more energy to people in your life that actually respect you and see the same things in you as you see in yourself, that's where you're going to grow. So that's what I'm getting so far. Okay, this last tarot card, y'all, this is very interesting. We got 10 of Wands. Okay. So the 10 of Wands is an interesting card, especially relative to the ones we have right now. This can represent, you know, extra responsibility, taking on extra work, even burden. But another aspect of a 10 in tarot, it's usually representing the end of an era, the end of a cycle. So yes, this is a card that's indicating that you will be taking on more work in August. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm like drinking water. I got my matcha here. But what I'm getting for you, the message that's coming through is that you're taking extra work in August, but it's kind of like a sprint at the end of a race. It could be like extra money. It could be extra savings. Like you might be working extra at work, or you might be, you know, like I said, like you might have been working really hard on a project and it's finally getting recognized. You're finally maybe getting the funding that you need. You're finally getting the attention or the support that you need. And it's like, whoa, okay, it's happening right now. How, like, I need to level up. I'm uncomfortable. And what I'm getting for you, group number 1, is that you're gonna have extra work, but this extra work is a part of pushing you into a new cycle. A cycle is ending, of you kind of toiling away on your own without, what I'm getting is like without recognition or respect. And you being able to step into your power for this next cycle is going to require you to step into your power. Take ownership of the intuition that you have, okay? I'm putting it back and forth. Take ownership of the intuition that you have, okay? And your ability to lead. And again, it's gonna be uncomfortable. You might have your eyes closed, but it is what it is. So, okay, with that said, we're already almost 15 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get into some affirmations. Pride. So this is an affirmation for the month of August for you. Group number 1, if you so choose. It says, I love myself. I see myself in everyone. Amen, 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 amen. This is really a card of empathy. Having pride in yourself. Again, having pride in yourself. Believe in yourself, group number 1. Y'all, you have so much power within you. And I see myself in everyone. This is such a good reminder that the power, I saw this on Instagram the other day, and it really, really resonates. This is a reminder that the power that you see in others, the celebrities, the YouTubers, even me that you might see on YouTube or whatever, the power that you see in others, you have in yourself. Real recognizes real, okay? G's recognize G. Having the deeper level of empathy that you have for yourself, that's what you end up seeing back into reality. The deeper respect that you have for others, this is a reminder. You have that level within yourself. It's a matter of actualizing it, honing in on it, okay? Loneliness, very interesting. I know that I am never alone. Look at this image. It's like all of these different communities all around the world holding up the energy, holding up candles, and coming together in unity. We are never alone. I really feel like this goes back to pride and that empathy, the theme of empathy, okay? Group number 1, y'all are about to amplify your energy in the month of August. If you choose to step into that power, everyone's gonna see it. It's going to, imagine like a flashlight going under this and it turning into a laser beam, okay? That's what's gonna happen in the month of August for y'all, group number 1, but it's a matter of stepping into that, bringing in that Aries energy. I highly recommend looking into Aries energy, 1, looking into that energy. Seeing if you have energy, if you have Aries in your charts, and even if you don't, looking into the themes of that, because that's gonna be what is the universe will respond to this month, because there are opportunities that are coming for you, okay? But it's a matter of doing that. I keep on talking, but you get what I mean. The other thing, group number 1 that will be very fruitful for you is really getting into that meditation practice, getting into that mindfulness practice. And if you already have that, potentially doubling down on that. Seeing what that looks like. This doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I'm already meditating for 10 minutes. Do I need to do 20 minutes? Does my attention span? No, that doesn't mean that. That can look like 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. That can look like journaling. Just being present in the moment, no electronics around you, just self-introspection and reflection. These are the things that will allow for your intuition to flow through and for you to really process a lot of the things that it seems like you have been avoiding. Okay? All right, group number 1, I'm sending you all my love. I hope you have a beautiful month of August. If this resonated with you, I invite you to comment 3 white heart emojis to tell me that you came from group number 1, okay? And just a reminder that whenever you engage with my content or content like mine on YouTube, you are telling the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy work like mine, and you are helping small but growing creators like myself continue to grow. Seriously, if you enjoy this, please share it, like it, subscribe. Like it really does help, and it's deeply appreciated. All right, y'all. Peace. Hello, group number 2. If you chose this deck because of this beautiful yellow rose, roses medicinally have been used for skincare, specifically rosehip oil, being a great source of vitamin C and helping with the turnover rates of skin cells. Rose, the scent, an essential oil, is considered an aphrodisiac. And as always, as many of you already know, roses can represent love. So I find that very interesting that you chose that one. But let's get started and start with a Moonology card. We have full moon in Pisces. Okay, group number 2. Very interesting. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. So as many of you may or may not know, the full moon represents a culmination point, right? So with the lunar cycle beginning with a new moon, the light is building to its peak halfway through the lunar cycle to a full moon. And full moons are seen as a time that really illuminate what has and hasn't been working for you. It's time of peak energy, peak clairvoyance, peak intuitive messages. And Pisces, being a water sign, and just uniquely Pisces, is really a sign about spirituality, the metaphysical world, the thinner veil between this plane and the next, this dimension and others. And the message that I'm getting through here, group number 1, is that in the month of August, your spiritual practices are really going to be peaking. Your intuitive abilities and that exploration there will be bringing in a lot of answers for you. And again, balance between spirituality and practicality. A routine can bring this forward. Taking time and being realistic about it. What I'm also getting, group number 2, is that realistically, getting all your information in like 2-second TikTok videos might not necessarily be the most effective way to get deeper into your spiritual journey. What I'm getting, group number 2, is that it's time to do the deeper work. But let's get some context here. Let's start with some tarot cards. Okay. First we have Knight of Swords. Okay, group number 2, we got Knight of Swords. So this card can represent ambition, just being action oriented, just A-type, being driven to succeed, fast thinking, just being on your ish. You can see, sorry if the camera's shaking a little bit. You can see this card, like the knight is really going for it. He is like, let's do this. This is the beginning of the battle, And you can usually get this card, like when it pops up, it's just, it can be a sign that you are highly driven, that you might be having a lot of ambition, and that a lot of creativity is coming to play for you in the month of August. And that through that ambition, you will be able to get to that, because it might not necessarily be easy. You might need to pull out that sword. I'm being silly, y'all. But generally speaking, the sword card in any deck, the knight actively uses the power of his intellect to achieve his goals. So it's really going to be about tapping into your mental abilities, your intellect, your education, your intuitive understanding, your wisdom. Those things are going to be very necessary for you in the month of August. On the flip side to this, what I'm getting, even though this is not reversed, I do feel called to tell y'all what it means when it's reversed, and that is burnout. That is going too hard. That is not being practical, okay? Not being practical. You, group number 2, have the power to go for it, to actualize things, to ask for what you want in the month of August. I feel like you're gonna be feeling a lot more confident, and really like, you're gonna be very clear on your why in the month of August. That's gonna be bringing about a lot more confidence. But it's gonna be important to practice practicality, to practice steadiness, finding a routine, and not just going in blindly, just running in. I think more context will come with more cards. And we got Chariot. Y'all, this is so crazy. So this is about control, willpower, You know, determination. This is really about, you know, it is a card that indicates success in action. This card is really telling me y'all are going to be doing a lot in the month of August. Again, the full moon is really a high energy time. A lot is going on. The full moon is really a time of actualization. The new moon is a time of planning things out, getting clear on things. And what I'm getting for you, group number 2, is y'all already know what you want. Y'all are ready to go for it. And this card is really a sign of success. This card is also kind of like an indicator that you might be the type of person to set your objectives, and you're now channeling that inner power to just really bring it to fruition. You already know what you want. What I'm also getting, that now isn't a time to be passive, but to be in action. Group number 2, you might be listening to this. Some of y'all might be listening to this and you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. I've been doing a lot the month of July. And what I'm getting for you is that the month of August is going to be a time of a lot of opportunities, but it's in order for you to get to those things, it's going to be very important for you to step into your power and take an active role. Don't be passive. It's going to be important for you to put your voice out there, let your vibrations come through, especially if you're in a partnership. I don't know. That's what I'm getting. As well, you might also be pulled in different directions this month, and you might find strength. You might end up finding strength through being tested, okay? I find this card to be so fascinating. There's so much Egyptian symbolism in here, and it's really, you see this person, he's like a king, and he is standing in his power, okay? That's what you need to do as well. What I'm really getting is that you might be tested this month with a lot of work, but it's about thinking smarter, not harder. By the way, you might hear some people having fun in a pool. That's because there's a pool right outside of my window, so I apologize. All right, let's get into this next card. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Very interesting. So the Ace of Pentacles reverse, okay, so as you can see, it's somebody holding a coin in their hands, right? And it's like, dang, they got their coin, they have that opportunity. When it's reversed, this can be an indicator of an opportunity potentially falling through, a lack of planning, a lack of foresight, and you drop in the bag. Now, like you see, they are dropping the coin, right? So I'm laughing at this, but I'm saying that because everything that I pull is not finite. It depends on the actions you choose. I'm offering you guidance on what could happen depending on the choices you make. So this card that I'm getting, what I'm getting for this theme is that in the month of August, you might catch yourself getting new opportunities that you're like, ooh, I want to actualize it. I want to go towards it. And you're not thinking of the practicality, okay? And as a result, you might have an opportunity fall through because you rushed into it. And the message that I'm getting here is that it's going to be very important for you to pay attention to the timing of things. If you have something fall through in the month of August, recognize that it is for your greatest good. I want to apologize again. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but we have a pool outside and there are some people out there having fun in the sun, and I respect it. And I want to apologize if that's too loud. Yeah, but you're going to be having a lot of opportunities come through. And it'll be important for you to take a moment, consider practicality. The full moon is a great time, right? There's a lot of energy, but there can be a lot of chaos. It's like a lot of things happening all at once. And group number 2, what I'm getting for you is that it's going to be important for you to really take a moment to reflect on whether or not the opportunities that are being presented to you are even good. A good example of this is like with YouTubers or social media people, we might get emails where people are asking like, hey, do you want to be sponsored by this brand or that brand? Every opportunity is not necessarily a good opportunity. I say no to like 90% of them because most of them aren't even aligned with what our values are here on this channel, like what my community values are. A great example of this as well is with relationships. You know, we got this rose. A lot of themes around love are going to be happening for you this month, group number 2. And not all of them are going to necessarily be good, okay? So that's what I'm getting for you. The saying is really coming through. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, y'all. If you don't know what that saying is, what it means, I highly recommend looking it up. All right, next is Very cool. Seven of Pentacles. Very cool. Now the second seven of Pentacles represents a long-term view, sustainable results, perseverance, and investment. And as you can see, there's somebody who has really been tending to his farm, tending to his garden, and all of the fruits of his labor are coming up, represented as pentacles. This can look like money, investments coming through. And what I'm getting for you, group number 2, is that the investments that you are making right now, the work that you're putting in, the patience that you have to really assess the situation is going to be very fruitful for you in the long term, okay? When you get opportunities, if you feel called to do something that's like a great opportunity, the message that's coming through in the month of August is to take your time and recognize that when you incorporate practicality, when you incorporate your spirituality, taking time to ask your intuition, taking time to ask yourself on a deeper level, what is right for you, ask the wise people around you, that is a long-term investment. This is about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is doing something knowing that you're not going to get an immediate outcome. And what I'm feeling called to remind y'all, group number 2, is to not be fooled by this social media game of people posting all this success and not posting all the times where they were actually working their butt off. Or maybe they did post it, but you haven't scrolled down long enough. You're just seeing the end result. And what I'm really getting is to remember that every success story or every overnight success, it's like a saying, every overnight success takes like 5 years or something like that. And that involves putting in the work, being okay with not being recognized immediately, tapping into your inner self-advocate. That's going to be very powerful. This card is also an invitation. It's an invitation to step back into the immediate day, to look at the big picture, to really step back from everything that you've been working on and look at it in its entirety. Look at the grand scheme of things, right? Like when we're in the moment, it's like we want it now. And group number 2, I'm really getting the month of August. You will have many opportunities that you might want to pounce on immediately, but it will be very important for you, group number 2, to take your time with it and really assess the situation. Understanding that not yet is an answer for people. Like not yet is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. And yeah, like don't be afraid to take your time because that is very powerful for you. An affirmation for this month for you, group number 2, is love. We're getting love. I love it. It says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Lovely. Group number 2, I'm really getting that there are going to be challenges in the month of August for you, but these challenges are necessary for you to grow. If you think about when you're in the gym, if you lift weights, you need to have that challenge on your muscles in order for them to grow. That way, in a month's time, if you have to face picking up something heavy, it's going to be like nothing to you. Now is the time to practice temperance. Now is the time to practice patience because you have a big ass garden. You have a beautiful garden that is growing, that takes time to grow, okay? The other one is worry. The affirmation for you, group number 2. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. It does not change an outcome. Patience, taking time to receive insight through intuitive messages and people who are wiser than you, people who are in the industry or the world or have experience in the realm that you are getting these opportunities or ideas within. That is what's going to be fruitful. Taking time to pay attention to that and recognizing that you worrying is such a, like worry is such a superficial sort of energy, and a deeper energy is reflection, meditation, journaling, self-introspection, talk therapy, talking with loved ones, and doing things that can help you in a tangible way. All right, group number 2. I hope this was helpful for you, and if it was, please comment 3 rose emojis. is it'll let me know that you came from group number 2. And as always, when you engage, it won't focus on the dang rose. There it is. And as always, when you engage with my work, you're not only telling the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy content like this, but you are helping small but growing creators like myself continue to grow. And I will never stop saying thank you for your engagement, for when you subscribe and like. It legitimately does make a difference. And I work really hard on these, so I just want to say it. Thank you in advance. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Hello, group number 3. I was about to say 2, it's 3. And if you chose group number 3, based off of this crystal, this is the lovely rose quartz. Now, this crystal is excellent for opening your heart chakra, for increasing empathy for yourself, as well as the people around you. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I enjoy keeping my rose quartz by my bedside, where Chris and I are, where we sleep at night, to help with even work while I'm asleep, in the astral plane and, in lucid dreaming, for it to be centered on love and protection. So I found that very interesting. Group number 3, you intuitively chose rose quartz. So let's see if there's any context to that. Let's go ahead and start with the Moonology card, which is, third quarter moon. Adjustments are required. Very interesting. So group number 3, for the month of August, the first messaging that I'm getting, besides that of more love coming into your life potentially, or at least empathy, that's what's really standing out to me, is that the month of August is really going to be a time of adjusting for what's to come. Group number 3, I'm really getting that the end of summer for you is going to be a time of winding things down, of kind of tying up loose ends in preparation for the fall season. August will be very fun for you, but it's going to be important to be open to the idea of adjustments, being open to the idea of changing up the ways that you've been approaching things to get a different outcome, right? Different actions produce different outcomes, and vice versa. The same outcomes will produce the same, or the same actions will produce the same outcomes. That's what's coming forward for me. This is also in the context of the moon phases. Third quarter is the last phase before, or the last major phase before the new moon, before the end of a lunar cycle. A cycle is coming to an end for you, group number 3. And adjustments are required. What I'm getting is, in order for you to step into this new phase, to level up, to be in this new environment that you've been working towards manifesting and actualizing, it's important. Oh, by the way, I have a pool right outside of my window. And so if you hear people having fun in the pool, I apologize if that's distracting. But that's the noise that you might hear. But that's what I'm getting. But let's keep going, okay? Let's start with the tarot cards, actually. So I'll put this here. So the first card that I have is, King of Cups. That's an interesting one to start out with. King of Cups usually can represent emotional balance, diplomacy, and being compassionate. So that's really interesting that I mentioned before, like increased self-empathy, increased empathy for others. We're getting themes of compassion here. So a cup, the cups in general represent, and the water that you see represents our emotions, represents our intuitive abilities, and the messaging that we get. Emotions are just one of them, right? They're the most popular, but it's really about the full spectrum of intuitive messages that we might get from within and how we receive them. So what I'm really getting is that the month of August for you, group number 3, you might be called to draw on your emotional maturity for stability and to help navigate changes. You might be called on your abilities to kind of be able to circumvent a lot of the distracting emotions that can come into play when deciding something and tap into the heart. Not completely just pushing them to the side. That's very useful information, but it's really about looking at it as just that information that is equal to the intellect, that is equal to all of the other pieces of information that are coming to play in the month of August. What I'm getting also, group number 3, is that you might be that friend that gives advice a lot, that extends that empathy to others. And in the month of August, there likely will be situations where You are going to need to extend that empathy towards yourself, okay? Practicing that self-love. But also the King of Cups can suggest, I'm stuttering so much, that you need to remain emotionally mature when faced with negative energy from other people, okay? Group number 3. In the month of August, you might be faced with some emotionally immature people, some situations that can be frustrating for many other people. But what I'm getting is that you're going to be the person in the room that actually has the power within to tap into that mental clarity, to cut through it all and to see things for what they are, okay? But let's keep going. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. The other thing that I'm getting is that this card can also offer some wise advice, that you can offer some wise advice when it comes to feelings, emotions, relationships, being creative, and just being a dynamic human being, okay? That's the other thing that I want to mention is that you, group number 3, y'all have the power to really see things for what they are. You have the power to offer really good advice, and it sounds like this month you are going to be a source of wisdom. There might be things that happen in your immediate life or in your immediate community. And what I'm getting is it's going to be important for you to step into your power because you have it and it lies within your heart. It lies within your intuitive and emotional messages and how you decipher that. Not being carried away from it, not being carried away with it, but how you utilize it, okay? So we have here, oh, it's for the focus, Ace of Swords. We're getting ace cards, all right. So Ace of Swords can represent breakthroughs, new ideas, and mental clarity, along with being a sign of success. So group number 3, that's really great. We're getting the kings over here. We're mastering our emotions, learning how to teach and share our wisdom from that with others, how we can transmute a lot of the emotions and experiences we have for others. We're also breaking through. We're having a breakthrough, group number 3, in the month of August. So what I'm getting is that in the month of August, you might experience a wave of new energy from the more intellectual realms, as swords can really represent that, the mind as well. You can also be on the verge of a significant breakthrough in a new way of thinking. Group, wow, that's really interesting. It really seems like you're moving through a cycle, group number 3. And I think that it had to do with emotions. It had to do with, your empathy, maybe overextending it potentially. And what I'm getting is that we're near the end of the phase. We're in the 3rd quarter for you. And through that experience, through mastering that experience, the emotions, learning from that, taking what you learned and being able to utilize it in something new in the month of August, you are going to have a powerful breakthrough. You see here, we got the crown up here, okay? We're breaking through to the success. Amen to that, okay? And I'm really getting that the month of August, you will be on the verge of something really great. You might even have some sudden realizations or just like a conscious understanding about an issue that might have been troubling you for a while, group number 3. What I'm getting is you're really gonna have a breakthrough this month. And yeah, I don't know. What I'm getting is that you're also gonna be able to see some type of path in front of you. And the big thing that I'm getting through for you, group number 3, is that y'all need to be meditating. And if not meditating, y'all need to be taking moments to yourself. That could look like a quiet walk in the morning before everyone's awake. That could look like reading, maybe not reading a book, not really taking in information, but holding space for information to flow around you. Taking that quiet time to actually process everything that you went through during this previous cycle as we go down to the new moon of this new cycle for you. If you feel open to, I invite you to comment what this cycle might be that you might feel you're coming to a close with in the month of August. Because I'm kind of curious. Oh my God, I'm starting so much. I'm kind of curious. But with that said, let's go on to the next. We have Ace of Wands, but reversed. So Ace of Wands reversed can okay, usually when it's up, it can represent like newer ideas, things like that. But when it's reversed, it can represent emerging ideas or lack of direction, distraction, or even delays. So I find that to be very interesting. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely negative, but the thing is that sometimes it's very important to hold space for some negative things because that can be a catalyst to something else, to some self-understanding. But as well, the Ace of Wands also can suggest that you might have an idea but you have no idea how to actualize it. You might have an inkling of what you want that next phase or cycle to be, like what your next step is. You might have learned a lot, but you just don't even know where to start, okay? But the ideas are coming through, and that's very important. The ideas, your intuitive messages, they're going to be really coming through in the month of August. And it's going to be about taking time to not be overly distracted, you know, to really find that direction. You also, group number 3, you might find it difficult to define your purpose in a certain area. What I'm getting is this might involve a relationship of some kind. This could be a romantic relationship, a partnership, or some type of collaborative situation where what I'm getting is that in the month of August, it's going to be very important and helpful for you if you get super clear, crystal clear, leave no room for doubt of the direction you're going in. Because once you know that, you'll be able to use that energy of this Ace of Swords to peer straight towards it and to not waste any time. But if you don't do that, if you don't get clear on that, you might be delayed in the month of August, y'all. And I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of people want to pull these cards and tell you all the good stuff, and I don't want to be that person. I want to tell you the real, okay? And that's what I'm getting for you. Ace, the thing about the Ace, whether it's the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, you know, any of these, Ace of Cups, it's all about pure potential. Pure potential. Anything could happen. And it's really, that's what's coming through here. The other message I'm getting for you, group number 3, is that timing is everything. And it's going to be important to be patient and explore the changing environments that are likely going to be coming up for you as you move into this new cycle. You know, as you experience these new things, it's going to be important to be patient and to remember, yes, timing is everything. Timing, like sometimes a no is really just not right now. You know, I'm really getting all these sayings of like, when one door closes, another one opens, God opens a window. Things that are closed for you are ultimately protection for you. So that's what I'm getting. In the month of August, you might experience some setbacks, but that is likely going to be a stress test for you to pierce through it, for you to utilize these muscles that you have been building through your emotional maturity, through your intuitive maturity, to actually see it for what it is. And it's going to be very important for you to get very clear on what direction you want. Avoid distraction. Put down that dang phone, y'all, when you're done with this video. No, I'm kidding. No, but realistically, like, I'm really getting that in order for you to properly process your emotions and really get clear on things and cultivate this wisdom that you have, it's going to be important for you to actually step away from all the stimuli, okay? And that can include getting off of YouTube, getting off of TikTok, all these things, really creating phone life boundaries, okay? But yeah, interesting. Oh, I flipped this. This is, ooh, Temperance. Look at the lovely Temperance. I love this card. It's really this card is all about duality. This card is all about balance, really balanced, juggling things in a balanced way. She's utilizing all of the elements, earth, water, air, okay? And it's just really interesting with the sun here, fire. And she's finding balance between different worlds, okay? And once again, we see her holding the cups, having balanced emotions, balanced intuition about the whole thing. So when we get the Temperance card, this can represent moderation, patience, purpose, and balance. She's focused on what she's doing. She knows what she needs to do. She's finding balance. She's making do, okay? Obviously, it's easier to be on land or all in water, but she's finding balance where she is. And what I'm getting for you, group number 3, is that in the month of August, there will be a lot more balance in your life. You're going to find more opportunities to stabilize yourself, to pierce through things really well, to find that clarity. But it's going to involve patience. Like I mentioned before, we don't want to be distracted. We need to bring patience and temperance into the game in order to win it, okay? You are being invited, I think, to stabilize your energy and to allow for your life force to flow through without force or resistance. You don't need to experience resistance anymore. I think resistance is a part of what that last cycle was for you, group number 3. But moving into August, you are going to have an opportunity. I'm sorry again for the pool sounds out there. But you're going to have opportunity to really process things and find balance, but patience will be key, okay? All right, let me look at this one more time. I really feel like this is relevant. Adjustments are required. You got to adjust to find that balance. It doesn't, don't need to show up exactly perfectly, y'all. That's what I'm getting, okay? Let's go into the affirmations for this month. Envy. So an affirmation you can utilize this month is, I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Y'all, I'm really getting, y'all need to take a pause on social media. Like, if you experience yourself feeling envious, if you experience yourself feeling like, dang, why do I have to go through this and everyone else is doing better? No. Everyone has challenges. They have their own challenges. You have your unique path just like everyone else. And we already know people aren't posting the challenges that they have on social media, okay? And so it's important to recognize that, especially through online stuff and even the media, like even the news, all these places, it's a distortion of reality. It's a curation of reality. And you're seeing this curation while you're experiencing your life with zero filters. And so understandably, you might feel a little bit confused. It's going to be important to, again, tap into your ability to see your emotions for what they are, your intuitive messages for what they are, and that is information to process, because you are being called to be a leader, to pierce through a lot of challenges this month and go to this new cycle that is in front of you. I'm very excited for that. So that's that one. And the final one is doubt. I release the need to know all the answers, y'all. It's important to, I feel like in the month of August for y'all, it's going to be very fruitful for you if you step out in faith and knowing that your abilities are incredible, okay? You have the ability to have the balance that you so desire, that you might even be fearful that you might not be able to obtain. You actually have the ability for that. And a lot of the things that you went through were training you and helping you to get to this point. And so dropping that envy, dropping that doubt, processing those emotions this month, maybe through journaling, talk therapy, meditation, those will be very helpful for you. All right, group number 3, I'm sending you much love. And if you made it to the end of this video, I invite you to comment 3 moon emojis, because y'all are entering a new cycle just like a new lunar cycle. And you are adjusting and getting prepared for that new cycle. And I'm really excited for you, okay? With all of that said, I just thank you. And I just want to remind y'all how much I appreciate when you comment, whether it's emojis or whether or not this resonated with you, because when you comment on my videos, you're telling the YouTube algorithm that you enjoy content like this, and you're also helping small but growing creators like myself continue to grow, and I will never stop thanking you for that, okay? Anyway, I'm sending y'all much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hello, group number 4. If you were drawn to this deck because of this flower, this is a blue lotus flower. This is dried, so it's not looking amazing and gorgeous as it would when it's alive and vibrant, but this is a flower that can be made into a tea. This is, excuse me, and also you might hear some splashing and kids yelling in the background. I have a pool right outside my window, so I just want to preface that, apologize ahead of time. They're having fun in the sun. But what's really interesting about blue lotus flower is that it has been used for centuries, specifically in ancient Egypt. They would actually steep this in their wine and let it ferment to increase its potency to help them with lucid dreaming, astral projecting, and connecting with beings and other dimensions, which I find very fascinating. And that's one of the reasons why I got it, because I wanted to drink it as a tea and really amplify my dreams, which has been very helpful for me. So I find that to be very interesting that you felt drawn to this card, or not card, but to this flower for this deck, if that's what you chose. But let's go ahead and get into this. The first card I'm pulling is, North Node, step out of your comfort zone. Very interesting. So for any of y'all who aren't too familiar with astrology and what the North Node represents, it really represents kind of like our North Star, our destiny, the direction we are called to go in life, how we utilize our gifts and what purpose they serve in this lifetime. And that's your North Node, that's your North Star, that's the direction you're supposed to be taking. And the message that I'm getting through here, group number 4, is that in the month of August, not only are your intuitive abilities going to be coming into play for sure, but you're gonna have to get out of your comfort zone. Group number 4, y'all, it's gonna be time to really step into your power. What I'm getting also, group number 4, is that y'all might be, some of you might be the type to, intuitively that you have certain abilities and maybe you're a little bit afraid to share that with the world. You know that you are observant as if, and you see the connections in life. You see the connections in certain people's behavior. Maybe it's at work, in relationships, but you don't speak up on it, or you don't really even acknowledge that you have been right so many times. And a lot of that is a characteristic of your intuitive abilities, you know, of your ability to observe, of your intelligence. And in order for you to really actualize and step into your powers, just calling a spade is what's going to be important. Calling yourself the powerful person that you are is what's going to be very important. Confidence is key in many spaces. Yeah, I don't know. Also, if y'all are already actualizing things, what I'm getting is that you all have been really getting into it, but still within your comfort zone. And in the month of August, you are going to be experiencing some interesting opportunities that are going to be scary, okay? They're gonna be scary, kind of like when you lucid dream and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a dream, and it freaks you out and you leave the dream. There's a lot of opportunity in that dream. There's a lot of opportunity in front of you. That's what I'm getting so far, but let's get into some specifics with some tarot, okay? Let's see. Oh, we have King of Swords. Very interesting. So King of Swords can represent, mental clarity, intellectual power, truth, and authority. King, okay? Group number 4, King. That's very interesting. So in the month of August, what I'm getting, this also, one of the messages that can come through for this, and a meaning that this can suggest, is that you will need to make firm and well-researched decisions to stay fair in how you deal with other people. What I'm really getting is doing your research, okay? Oops, sorry, table shaking a little bit. Doing your research, okay? The sword is really a representation of our intellect, of the mind, of communication, of the air, okay? And it's gonna be very important for you to do your due diligence. If you have not engaged in getting help from maybe an expert, really, the arrival of this King of Swords card can suggest that it may be worthwhile to get even legal or financial advice in the month of August. Okay, group number 4, I'm really getting, it's going to be important for you to not shy away from seeking wisdom from other people. That's one of the things that the so-called winners in life, the so-called, millionaires, the so-called all this stuff, on social media, in the news, in their bios, they like to take credit for every little thing that they've ever accomplished without recognizing that they all seeked help at some point in their lives. And group number 4, it looks like stepping outside of your comfort zone might involve asking for help and stepping into your power as a king. Kings have advisors. Kings have spiritual guides. Kings have a whole host of help in their kingdom that allow them to actualize their power. So that's what I'm getting, but let's keep going. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands reversed. Very interesting distinction. Well, so you can see the 5 of Wands in general can represent things like inner conflict. So as you can see upright, there's a conflict going on. Everyone's fighting, right? They're using their wands. They're using these wooden sticks to fight one another. There's conflict in the outer world. When it's reversed, that can represent conflict in the inner world. Conflict having to do with avoidance or inner tension or an issue with releasing something. So that's very interesting. We're working on our inner selves. moving outside of our comfort zone, stepping out of that inner conflict, group number 4. In the month of August, it really sounds like what I'm getting is that this can be a time in your life where you have to, I don't know, just be more, what's the word? Why am I like tripping over my words? The month of August for you is going to be a time of stepping outside of your comfort zone, that involving asking for help, but also processing and dealing with the inner turmoil that you have and asking yourself, where does that even come from? Is that even a messaging that you gave yourself, or was that messaging that came from the society, the society or the immediate culture you're within, limiting beliefs that maybe were given to you at a young age from family members, from friends who didn't believe in themselves, so they project that onto you, okay? Where's that inner turmoil coming from? What I'm also getting is that you might have some aspects of you that's introverted, some aspects of you that you might have labeled it as introversion of feeling more comfortable with recharging and taking breaks. You're still a community-based organism, but you felt called to take breaks, and you labeling your inner turmoil as being introverted. This is not introversion. This is avoiding conflict in a way that is limiting yourself. And that's an important distinction to make that I feel called to let y'all know. What I'm getting is that in the month of August, you will have opportunities to choose to step into your courage and to the courage that you hold specifically, and face that inner frustration head on. And that will be very fruitful for you if you decide to do it. I'm really getting that in the month of August, if you choose to process, break down, do some self-inquiry with yourself or with talk therapy, somebody wiser than you seeking help, you will be able to really dismantle a lot of belief systems in the month of August that are almost acting as blockages in the way of you going towards your North Star, going towards your North Node, stepping out of your comfort zone. And you, I think, already intuitively know a lot of this. You, I think, spiritually are being very supported in the month of August for this. And there will be things, it's looking like, that are going to be popping up that are opportunities for growth if you choose to do that, okay? This card can also be a reminder that conflict is useful. And when we avoid conflict, we can label it as a bunch of different things of like, oh, this is just how I am. Oh, this is this and that and the third. But then you realize that there are certain real life situations that that muscle for that aspect of your life is completely atrophied because you never worked it out, because you were constantly avoiding conflict. You were constantly avoiding that inner turmoil that you have not resolved. And so I think that this might not be for everyone. The other message that I'm getting is that you might have somebody in your life who's going through this, and you might have to be the guide to help them. But what I'm really getting is that even as confident as you might see yourself as you're like, no, I'm going down my North Node, I'm seeking the wisdom. Are you doing it in a way that you're in your comfort zone? So you're not even utilizing your muscles. You're not even working it out. You're not even leveling up. In the month of August, if you so choose, you will be able to take things onto another level. But that barrier, that challenge, will be to face that inner conflict head on. This can look like talk therapy. This can look like talking to loved ones. This can look like journaling. I like to do self-inquiry in journaling where I might have a limiting belief that I noticed I had, or, like some type of self-criticism. And I ask myself, where does that come from? Why did I even think that? What's my earliest memory of having this thing? Why? Getting deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole of self-understanding is going to be very fruitful for you, group number 4. All right, next we have Page of Cups. Very cool. In the month of August, y'all are going to have creative opportunities. This represents creative opportunities, intuitive messages, and pure possibility. I love that. So Cups really represents not only emotions, which is what it's usually very heavily associated with, but also your intuition, as your emotions are just one facet of the wide spectrum of intuitive messages that you can get from your body in the world all the time. So yeah. So also something that's important to know is that as each page asks you to explore a new facet of yourself, the Page of Cup is specifically asking you to explore your creative and emotional self. Y'all, this is crazy. You're being asked to explore your emotional and creative self. You're being asked to explore, to face head on, to dive deeper into what are these conflicts? What's all this stuff going on here? What's with all these blockages? In the month of August, I'm really seeing that you're going to be having opportunities to actually process things, to actually really ask yourself where these things are coming from. This card can also suggest new ideas and opportunities that will come for you out of the blue. That is what's really cool about this card, group number 4. There's going to be new opportunities coming forward. And I think that what's likely going to happen is that it could potentially trigger some of the fears that were unresolved. You've been functioning, you've been doing your best, living your best life, even going towards your North Node, utilizing your powers in an amazing way, but it was all in your comfort zone. And you're going to be getting opportunities this month that might be out of your comfort zone, that might require something different of you, that you might have consciously or subconsciously been telling yourself, oh, I don't know if you can do that. But this month, yes, you can. This is a message. This is a reminder that yes, you absolutely can. Okay? Ooh. And finally, the Lovers. I love it. This is good, but there's also some realness. This card is a lot of love, okay? A lot of beauty, unity. This can represent harmony, relationships, values aligning, love. But this can also represent some realness, okay? Being real with ourselves and with others. So let's start with love, okay? The arrival of this card, when it comes up, it can show you that you have a beautiful, soul-honoring connection in your life right now or coming up in the month of August, okay? I'm very excited for you, group number 4. This is excellent news. This can be platonic or romantic. I'm really feeling that there might be a romantic spark coming into a pre-existing relationship, whether you're dating or you're already like in a long-term relationship, or with a new partner. So I think that that'll be interesting to look into. The other aspect of this is that as you see these two people, this also represents clear communication, getting clear about your values, your beliefs, and you know what you do and don't want in a partnership, right? You already know what that is. It's all about transparency. Through transparency, through working through your own ish, okay? Through working through those things, you are going to be able to communicate that clearly. And through being able to communicate it clearly, you are going, in these new opportunities, there might be new collaborations, all these things. It's going to be very potent for you to be transparent about what works and doesn't work for you. What I'm feeling is that potentially outside of your comfort zone is being direct with people and just cutting the BS. And that when you're able to do that, you're clearing out so much blockage. Okay, group number 4. I'm excited for this month for y'all. Acceptance. This is the one of 2 affirmations for the month for you. This says, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Okay? The things that I cannot change. There's a lot of worry I'm getting, a lot of inner turmoil. This affirmation is an affirmation of reassurance that the things that you can't change, that are out of your power, are irrelevant to the conversation. They're irrelevant to your path. It's about focusing on what you can control and finding power in relinquishing that mental energy. That way you can utilize it for more important things, okay? Acceptance. And the final one is peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. What I'm really getting is that a lot of the inner turmoil that you have isn't even your own. A lot of the inner turmoil that you might have, group number 4, is stuff that was somebody else's that they projected onto you that you might be unknowingly, energetically carrying. It's time to do a cleanse, y'all. It's time to do a full moon cleanse in the month of August. That's going to be very fruitful for you. And it's time to let go of the things that you can't even control. Let go of that. Find peace. And release this negative energy, y'all, because you are so powerful. You are going to have wild connections and unions with people, whether it's romantic, platonic, in the business world. And that's going to be through you being direct from your own self-knowledge. But that comes from you knowing what you want and don't want, which is going to be stemming from processing a lot of these things. What I'm getting is that dream work as well is going to be very useful during this time. All right, y'all, that was a lot. And that was quick fire, but I don't know, I just thought that y'all might resonate with that. If you did, I invite you to comment whether or not you resonated with this, whether or not there's anything relevant in your life right now that is connecting with this. And if not that, just comment 3 flower emojis. Not roses, because I think group number 2 did roses, but a flower emoji to let me know that you came from group number 4, and let the YouTube algorithms, the powers that be on this platform, know that you enjoy content like this. Because when you engage with my work and anyone else's work on YouTube, you are helping small but growing creators like myself continue to grow, and it is deeply appreciated. All right, y'all. I will see you in the next one. Okay? Peace.